Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly show. And today it's Wednesday, 21st of January 2026. And it's time for our spiritual light. Today's topic is the Spiritist call to universal fraternity. It's a great topic. Uh, Indeed, we need it now, especially now, according to all uh, uh, upside down things are happening in our world, and we need to remember that um, fraternity, it is one of the main principles that remain as humanity. So for that, we do have Charles and Elsa with us. So good evening, Elsa. How are you, my dear?
I am very well. And you, Stevan, Charles, and our people here. It's always a great pleasure to be here, especially when you have a subject like that we have the entirely Spiritist constitution in 5 books that give us all the support to discuss, but more than that, to put in practice, to understand. We need the point to understand things in order to put in practice in that. So, to everyone, hello. Nice to be here once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Bonsoir, Charles.
Bonsoir, Steven. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Indeed, very happy to be here. Yes, our world is going through some challenging moments, and I think we lost a little bit some basics, and it's always good to think about and to remember those basics, and the Spiritist body of knowledge is very useful for this. So we will try to bring some of this point in the light of this body of knowledge.
Great, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. So, my introduction is very brief here because when you open the news, any kind of news, here there is no left or right, blue or red, green or orange, any kind of news. When you open it, you confront a world marked by suffering, wars that displace families, millions in need of basic survival and humanitarian crisis, remind us our shared vulnerability. And Spiritism challenged us to respond not with indifference, but with compassion grounded in moral law. In the I think in the gospel according to Spiritism, the law of charity is not optional. It's the heart of Christ's message when he was incarnated among us. As spirits in the human experience, we are called not only to understand suffering, but to alleviate it from thought, prayer, and action. Together, we will explore how Spiritist teachings can guide our responses to global crises, helping us build a culture of solidarity, empathy, and moral responsibility toward all beings, regardless of nation, belief, or background. And Charles, would you mind to? I can see the text you send here from Kardec. I think it's worth if you could read for us, and this could be our north for our debate today. What do you think?
Yes, indeed. this basically, I mean, just introducing the Spiritist body of knowledge is teaching us that we have a soul. Sorry, I'm repeating it almost every Wednesday now. This soul was existing before the birth, and it will continue existing after the grave. So it's not only from birth to death, it's a much longer journey. And we are sure, with 100% sure probability, that one day we will die. Can be in 5 minutes, it can be in a couple of decades. And what we are also absolutely sure is the day when we will die, and we will not take with us a single penny of our belongings and not even a single atom of our physical body. So this we are absolutely sure. So again, this is the strength of the Spiritist body of knowledge, that it brings a new paradigm. By demonstrating what I just said through facts and through reasoning and embodying it in a whole philosophy or body of knowledge, we have the evidences about all this. Okay, and it's no more just speculation. You just tell, okay, Stevan, Jesus already gave a lot of teachings, and very good teachings that are, by the way, recognized now in this philosophy. But the difference is this philosophy came through reasoning, through understanding. It's no more something which is written and that you must believe even if you don't understand. Spiritism is something that you understand and then you believe if you want to, keeping the freedom, the liberty to believe or not to believe. So it's a different approach. And this changing in the point of view is changing completely our vision of the world. Nowadays, there are some things which are happening which are hard to understand. How is it possible to have such a jungle here, out there, as per the expression? How is it possible to make some financial blackmail for trying to promote peace? The peace will not be promoted by financial blackmail or by threatening to invade the country of the others or things like that. I think that's absolutely the wrong way. Why? Because again, it's focusing on material stuff, on money, on wealth, on things which are temporary. The values of the spirit are not material. Again, all what is material will stay here. Our soul will not take anything with it. Well, the day we will go back in the spiritual world. And by the way, we are spiritists. We see this as we get free from this physical body, which is a kind of a prison in which we have this journey during this incarnation. Okay, we see even the death, we see it in a positive way. And by changing this point of view, we see that true values are the education, the knowledge, and the goodness, the moral qualities, which is exactly what has been taught by Jesus, but not only by Jesus, by Krishna, by Buddha, by Mohammed, by whoever. All the religions in the world, they have these moral teachings. Now the Spiritist body of knowledge is explaining us what is the ground behind it. Why is it in our interest? Why is there no salvation, if you can use this word, without working to become a better person and without working towards more fraternity? So now with this introduction, if you allow me, Stevan, I will read the small part, a text from Allan Kardec, which is coming from the posthumous work. I'm not sure it's translated into English, but Kardec is saying basically the following. When all people understand Spiritism and all these principles I just explained, they will understand true solidarity and consequently true brotherhood. Solidarity and brotherhood will no longer be mere duties of circumstance, often preached more for one's own benefit than for that of others. The reign of solidarity and brotherhood will necessarily be one of justice for all, and the reign of justice will be one of peace and harmony among individuals, families, peoples, and races. How will we achieve this? Is questioning Kardec. To adopt it would be to deny progress. So we will get there. All the things are so terrible now in the world when we can get pessimistic. There is no solution. Everything will collapse or whatever. No, we are here as spiritists to say it will become better. It can only become better. Of course, it may get a little bit worse. It may be painful, materially speaking in particular, but no, the conscience awakening will sooner or later come. The people will wake up. I think that a lot of people are already, by seeing this terrible show which is happening right now, uh, that's not good. That's not fair. That's not what I imagined. This is maybe not what I expected when I voted for this or that political man, and so on. So this is conscience awakening comes only through crises and difficulties. And conscience awakening is one of the drivers of the progress. And that's why Kardec is questioning, will we achieve this? To adopt it would be to deny progress. And the progress is a law of nature, so it will come whether we want it or not, with or without us. If the progress goes quicker than us, okay, we will stay behind, but we will have to run behind and to come back. We will also be content to progress. The worst person here on earth will become a saint one day. This is the law of progress. And Kardec is finishing by saying, if we compare, by writing, current society among civilized nations to what it was in the Middle Ages, and that he was writing, I remember, in 1868 or 1869, so more than 150 years ago. The difference is great. If humanity has become this far, why should it stop? By observing the path they have taken in just one century, we can judge the path they will take in another century. And here Kardec was optimistic, you see, because this century he was mentioning is gone already. And where are we today? It's again becoming a little bit better. Remember that in 1868, a lot of countries still admitted slavery, and social protection was far from being what it is today. Work conditions, safety at work, whatever, a lot of values were still not what they are today. So there has been a progress, but we are not yet at this level of fraternity. It is growing. We see some, particularly when you have these collective trials like pandemic, you can see some of the people reacted in a very, very good fraternal way. Some other reacted negatively. But we see that the proportion of the ones which are reacting in a better way, in the way of fraternity, solidarity, recognizing the efforts done by the people here and there, the doctors, the nurses, and whatever in this very difficult situation. In France, every night the people were on the windows applauding all these people who continued working, taking risk for their own life in order to help the others. You see that something is changing. It still will take some time. There is still some way to go, but it will change. And I think the Kardec's view is absolutely the one we still must have today, to stay optimistic in spite of all this, because we know that this law of progress is a law of nature. There is no way to stop this progress. We can hinder it, we can slow it down, but it cannot be stopped. One day or the other, it's like you put a dam on a river. The dam will secure the river during a certain time, but if you don't open the valve, then the water will end up going above the dike and then continuing flowing. This is the same for evolution. So it will come wherever we want, whenever we want it or not. So that is one reason for us, and what we are trying to transmit to you all, to stay optimistic with all this. But we should not stay like this, waiting, shut up, and whatever. We should try to disseminate. We know that we cannot change the other person, but we can change ourselves, and ourselves gives a good example, not being, how do we tell that in English, connivent. Let me see.
We cannot be partner.
Complice, complicit. Huh?
Yeah.
We should really stand up non-violently, but say, stop with all this. This is not fair. Only the fraternity. There is no human which is more than the others. We are all the same spirits. Whatever the nation, whatever the races, whatever the color of the skin, we are the same spirits, and we should all be treated in the same way. God does not give any privilege to anybody, and the one who thinks they have privilege, sooner or later they will have to, they will be accountable for this, and they will also suffer the consequences for all this. Okay, so that is, I would say, the first introduction to this subject.
Very nice, Charles.
I come back in a few minutes.
Very nice, Charles.
You think, Elsa?
Yes, what you said. I started when I was preparing my small presentation here. I used the Gospel according to Spiritism, and chapter 15, writing 10. Forms of charity align with Spiritist principles in global emergencies. That was the question. And you said about charity, that without charity there is no salvation. Of course, salvation, liberation, involvement, etc. So because the true charity, says the Gospel, is benevolence towards all, indulgence towards the imperfection of others, and forgiveness of offenses. Our topic today, the Spiritist call to universal fraternity. Everybody wants to be part of this universal fraternity. And in your last moment that you talk, you said about ourselves as an example, to be a good person, to put in practice all the teachings in order to move the world around us, improving ourselves, as an example. In Spiritism, true charity goes beyond giving material aid. We know that. It means helping with respect, compassion, and responsibility, recognizing the dignity of even every human being. Doesn't matter where you are, creed, color, race, whatever, we are brothers and sisters. First of all, no one can change this. No law, human law, can change this. We are brothers and sisters, and full stop. Okay? In global emergencies, that is our case here, such as wars, natural disasters, pandemics, or humanitarian crises, Spiritist aligned charity includes providing immediate relief, food, water, shelter, medical support, without discrimination, judgment, or proselytism, respecting human dignity, avoiding actions that humiliate, expose, or reduce people to objects of pity, offering emotional and spiritual support, such as listening, comforting, praying, when appropriate, and promote hope. But when we are helping people, we're not imposing our way to pray, our way to help. We all only help, do our best, embrace if it's possible, give a hug if it's possible. Work with a lot of other people, volunteers, other institutions, charitable shop institutions, everywhere. We can join efforts in order to promote this help, this first aid, encouraging autonomy and self-worth by supporting education, skills, community rebuilding, and long-term recovery rather than creating dependency. Working in cooperation, that is very beautiful. When we join efforts, evangelical church, spiritist groups, and Catholic people, we join efforts in being together, work for the same aim to help humanity because we are friends and fraternity is amongst us, should be. By practicing silence, charity, do it in silence. We don't need to do a big shout in the world that we are doing the best. No, humbleness first, acting with humility and discretion without seeking recognition or publicity. According to Spiritist teachings, and Charles pointed very well in this question 8, the question when you said 883, um, charity is not only what we give, but how we give, the way that we help, the way that we look, the way that we give something to someone with kindness, kindness. The action of charity is kindness with love, respect, and the sincere desire to help others grow and regain their strength. That is something that we should. I say when I say to others, I'm the first one that I'm listening what I'm saying in order to for myself have more encouragement and more strength to do things, especially in time like that when we are collecting funds in order to buy blankets, to buy food, to send shoes, to send clothes to people all over the world when in need. But we also make our groups in prayer and help others because prayer, and when we pray, we have this power to send good energy, to change minds, even far from us. We can pray, and our prayer, our good energy, go straight to the point where we are in our Maya in order to send it to them. Our good energy, positive thoughts, and love. If people sometimes they are really sad, suffering, and such a relief come from nowhere. We don't know who the name is aware, but they are receiving what we are sending to them. So as a spiritists, we know this power so really clear for us. And we pray every day. We send our prayers to everyone, everywhere, as much as we can, and put in practice this universal fraternity to our brothers and sisters all over the world, forever, forevermore. That is Steven.
Yeah, thank you, Elsa. Thank you, Charles. And we needed to think that when you talk about universal fraternity, uh, we need to remember that fraternity uh, uh, breaks down the ego and the division. I don't mind if you are A, if you're B, don't mind your faith, don't mind your skin color, don't mind your hairstyle, don't mind your gender, don't mind anything. Fraternity is only the will to help, to offer the hand and say, I'm here. We are here together on it. Everything is going to be okay. Like Charlie said, everything is going to be okay. Even though when we start to reading all these news, I said in my beginning speech, is everything under control. But we don't need to mind and say how, get worried, get all those anxiety, because anxiety now it is the disease of the year, the moment. Anxiety is killing a lot of people. Let's do some fraternity. Let's do some charity. If you don't want to deal with people, start disseminating good videos. Record your good video. A noble reading. 2 minutes good thoughts. A good morning. A good afternoon or good evening. But we are seeing more bad news, suffering news, because the good news are not brave enough to surplus those bad news. And we need to do our part. So, Charles, a quick question for you. It's how, as I said, everything's under control, but how a crisis, a moment of turnaround, a moment is suffering, test our personal spirit of evolution?
Thank you for the question. I think I answered partially already.
Yeah.
It's in the moments of difficulty of crisis, like a pandemic or whatever, that we are compelled to make efforts to find solution, to reconsider the things, to change if needed to change. You see, we survived to the pandemics. Some died, some were freed, They went back to the spiritual world. But we survived and the world survived. And I think a certain percentage of the population changed deeply, became much better after the trial of the pandemic. Okay, so all this global crisis and it's Kardec explains it very well in the Spirit's book in the chapter called Law of Destruction. Such events will foster the progress in some years only, what otherwise would have taken maybe decades or centuries, you know. And we are exactly in the middle of such trials, of such extreme caricatural situation, isn't it? So this impels the people, hey, is this really fair? Is this really correct? Is this really what I want? And when we think about again reading Kardec in the same book, Posthumous Works, he has another writing which is entitled Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. So everybody knows that this motto is a motto coming from the French Revolution, who came a little bit after the American Revolution, fighting mostly for liberty. Okay, but Kardec made a very good analysis of, okay, liberty is good. Everybody wants to be free. But what is the condition to become free, to gain this liberty? And he's explaining that we should take the words in the other way. First, develop the fraternity. The equality is a law of nature, which will come in consequence. And only with those two, we will have the liberty. We will increase our liberty. And Kardec is writing that the fraternity, in the strictest sense of the word, encompasses all the duties of human beings towards one another, signifies devotion, signifies selflessness, signifies tolerance, signifies benevolence and indulgence, which are also components of the charities that Elsa just mentioned. And it's not new. Nowadays, we see a new concept which is popping up, spiritual intelligence. So I really encourage you, go and look what spiritual intelligence is, and you will see it's coming slowly. The understanding of this is coming, even in the business area, where it is seen that working in a team where you have this spiritual intelligence is much more efficient in getting objective, in reaching objective and getting results than teams which are based on competition, on everyone willing to have the best for him and whatsoever. Yeah? And but it's not new. 2000 years ago, someone came and said, act towards the others as we would have them to act towards us. In one of our past life, I showed that I found this same type of sentence almost equal in 7 or 8 different traditional religions around the world, including Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucius, wherever. So it's again, Jesus told it, but it's something which is universal. What would you like to other to do unto you? Do it unto the others. Huh? That is what do we want? Do we want this? Everybody acting towards the others like we act towards the others, or do we want the counterpart, which is what? Which is selfishness. Selfishness says each for himself, me first. Huh? 100 for me, even if 100 stays with 0. This is selfishness. Do we want to be in the 0? Would we have a clear conscience having 100, seeing 100 people having 0 aside us, around us? Of course not. This will not bring happiness. This will not foster fraternity. We would not like to be in the position of those, so we should not put the other in those positions. And that's the only way to go out. And again, it's a universal moral teaching which we are talking about. Selfishness, each for himself, since these two qualities are mutually exclusive, because fraternity says each for all and all for each. Do we want each for himself, or do we want each for all and all for each? Can we say that we never needed or we will never need anyone to help us? No, we cannot say that. We can be in a strong position at a given point in time, but not always. There will be sooner or later a situation where we will need the help of the other. So without fraternity, only with selfishness, it doesn't go. Selfishness is the biggest root cause of all the misery, of all the wars, of all these killings, all these horrible things which are happening in the world. Look to all of them, you will see that at the root cause it is that you will find selfishness and pride, which both are going together. But with fraternity, all these problems will be solved naturally, automatically, If everyone would do unto the other what he would like the other to do unto him, we would be, how to say, there would not be stealing. There was, you can remove a lot of laws. You see on the roads, you have radars meeting your speed. You have a lot of signs showing what you can do, what you shall not do. If everybody would be respectful for the others, you could remove all this. We could simplify a lot the things. Why? Because we would be more in harmony with the natural laws. And this is all about fraternity. And I repeat, it is the only sustainable future of the humanity here on Earth. If we really stay in the selfishness with the wars and whatever, there is a serious risk that the humanity will disappear from Earth. The Earth will not disappear. Nature will recycle and reconstruct everything. But we as human, where can we go to continue our progress? If we cannot come back anymore to Earth, we will have to knock on the door of another planet saying, hey, sorry guys, we destroyed our planet. Can we come and reincarnate with you? On the knees, betting for them to accept us. Is this what we want? No, of course. So the only sustainable future is fraternity. There is no other way. And the fraternity comes stronger into force when we change the paradigm, when we go out of the materialist paradigm, which enforces, encourages selfishness, to a spiritualist paradigm, knowing that we have a soul, that this soul is surviving after the death and will be accountable for all the good and all the bads it did during his life and the previous lives. That is a strong motivation coming out of the spirited body of knowledge to foster fraternity.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much. And I also want to say good evening to Juana Mora, Rafael 055, Luviem. So, and let me see who more. Ronaldo Carlos, Ju Lazari. Hey, Ju. Missing you a lot. Josiane Frakzak. So, thank you, everybody, for joining us and sharing this moment with us. Elsa, Juana, she put it here, excellent comment. She said, we are living in a material world. Not everyone has the same level of maturity and understanding. Change is gradual and a choice. Each person changes when they are ready or want to. What do you think, my dear?
I think she is 100% correct. We have our free will. No, you can't take the horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink. So everyone will have our own path, own way. The level, maturity, they are different. Of course, we meet each other, like attracts like. So we know who are in the same level with us, that easy to talk, easy to exchange ideas, easy to invite to do some nice job, especially in Christmas time here in London. There's a Crisis, one institution that my friend works every Christmas, serving homeless people. It's a task really different. A lot of people, they avoid even to talk about, but it's something very nice to do. When you see that you dedicate your time, you offer part of your day or part of your night to help someone that has nothing into their hands, no shelter, no food, no nothing. And you offer your hands, you offer a smile, you offer hot food, hot meal, and you offer a shelter in the hotels, especially for that. It's something that only who is experienced that knows what I'm talking about. So she is okay. What she said here, yes, it's gradually we will get it there. No one is serving homeless in Christmas night, but there are people that starting serving proper family with love and care. That's it. Everything starts inside our family of blood, our family, physical family. But we extended this for our big family that we are in the world and spiritual family as well that we are creating around the times. Yeah? And what I would like to say, Stevan, as we talk about the global emergencies a lot, you had a question that what practical forms of charity align with Spiritist principles? No, this one we read before. This one. What hope does Spiritism offer to those who feel overwhelmed by global suffering? Nowadays, we see a lot of questions. We talk with people in Israel that they are talking, oh my God, starting again. Things that we have no notice in the media, but when you talk with someone that are living daily there, you know things, that what they are suffering as well. And the gospel, according to Spiritism, chapter 5, item 25, said, "Blessed are those who suffer, for they shall be comforted." Why we have to suffer to be comforted? Why God makes me suffer? No, God doesn't make us suffer. We are the ones that we discussed before. We have our own free will to learn with these lessons. Our mistakes are not mistakes, are lessons. So we should learn more about our own way to live. Expanded our love, our care towards our community, putting in our mind that there are people well dressed but has no money at all, sometimes no money to buy food for the day, but they don't show, they don't go to charities to ask for meal, food, etc. Under our Spiritist group here in Walthamstow, every Monday from 6:30 to 7:30, there are book bank food. So we can donate them there. They we organize things and distribute to a lot of people. I'm impressed because these days I saw people there well dressed in the queue, waiting his timing in order to get basic foods, okay, non-perishable food. So I was thinking about, oh my God, we should never judge people only what we see. Yeah? Otherwise, we be most of the time we be wrong. Okay, and Spiritism offers hope by reminding us that the life does not end with the body, as Charles said way in the beginning about the soul. Human beings are immortal spirits in a continuous journey of learning and moral growth. Even in the face of immense suffering, nothing is lost or meaningless. The understanding helps transform feelings of despair, helplessness, and injustice into purpose and responsibility. Knowing that every experience contributes to spiritual growth encourages individuals to respond to suffering not with resignation but with conscious action. So in Spiritism, we study that as we are immortal beings, always evolving, several existences, we are reincarnations, we come to face tests, atonements, in order to grow. Oh, it's so difficult to understand that someone is suffering to grow. Yes, we have a pain. We don't need to suffer, suffer, suffer. We should understand why I have a pain, why I came without arm, why I have these incurable illnesses. It's not pointed times and times. God does not punish us. We are the ones that choose the way to come and face our lessons with dignity in order to grow. Spiritism teaches that moral progress continues beyond the material plane and that humanity as a whole is slowly evolving. Each act of kindness, solidarity, and compassion contributes to this collective advancement. And there's more things here, but I'll stop a little bit because it's already 15 to 9, and I want to listen more Charles. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear. So, Charles, I don't have too much to ask because we already covered everything. But
Suffering is not eternal as well. Suffering is not eternal, for sure. Because if you grow, we will surpass, we will surpass these kind of things with the dignity and freedom comes. No
yeah,
shame.
but we can say like, if you are suffering, this shall pass. If you are happy, this shall pass as well. So we need to be ready for any moment. We needed to go like Elsa said. We do have our free will. Even though in the moments of suffering, we have a free will to say, I'm suffering more because I have self pity, I'm putting myself down, and then we end up in a rabbit hole and things get crazy. Or you decide to, okay, this is enough. Let me fight. Let me go. Let me move forward. Doesn't matter how long time it's gonna take. I do have friends. I do have spiritual support. Do your prayers. It's a matter of choice. Charles and Elsa said this 100 times, not just today, in most of our lives here. We always keep saying that free will is the most powerful present or gift uh, God gave us. Charles, your final comments, my friend.
Yeah, free will, liberty. There is a nice the liberty statue offered by Bartholdi by France to US at the entrance of Manhattan. It's also what we are aiming, most of us. But remembering, there will be no true liberty without fraternity and without equality. And the liberty comes only with the evolution of our soul. The more we progress, the more we will be free. And you said, Steven, that happiness has an end. In our current life, at our current stage of evolution, yes. But when we are the pure spirits, for them, it's something which will never disappear again. So we will get for this true happiness, sustainable happiness, but it goes only through the evolution. With selfishness, with pride, the world will not change. And that is really what we have to fight, not with violence, but with arguments, what we are trying to do here. Because selfishness and pride are really what is the root causes of the current world situation and what is more hindering the evolution of our souls. So it's really what we have to fight in ourselves first. You cannot stop being selfish on behalf of someone else. You can only do this on yourself and then lead by example, and encourage maybe the others to follow your path. And when they will see all the advantages you got of being less proud, no excessive pride, and also no selfishness, and going to more fraternity, to more this spiritual intelligence we just talked about. That will give us the strength to overcome most of the difficulties, and also to stop having difficulties. And it's known since a long time. Juana just wrote that 2000 years Jesus came, and all the others like Muhammad, a little bit less than 2000 years, and still we did not understand it. Still we are not yet putting it into practice. But these are, how to say, it's a natural law. There is no other way out than this. And really, how to say, when we sometimes we are in a small community, for instance, sometimes we have a spiritist gathering where all the people are trying to do the best one for each other. So good, isn't it? Would be good if we would have that also everywhere around the world, that all the humans we can understand this and progress in this way.
My dear Elsa, what's your final thoughts, my dear?
I like to do deal with everyone between us here and the entire audience now and the audience that comes later. Try to see ourselves in the other people's shoes. Wars, famine, no shelter, homeless people. Try to see because we don't know how tomorrow. If you understand these inverted commas sufferings the people are facing, and we are here, we have our home, our shelter, our family, food, meals, job, etc. We have it partially, we are happy. Because the entire happiness is not of this world. When you see that I have everything, and I see people that has nothing, my heart is not comfortable. But I know the situation is as it is because following the divine laws. But in my turn is not to put salt in the other people's wounds, but try to put a medicine of love, medicine of care. Small things. I'm not asking loads, big things. Things with your neighbor. I am in a building now for nearly 1 week, moving in another place, facing people that I never met before. The faces are like sufferings. I said to my manager here, I said, I will help to change everything. So we will prepare a coffee morning, call all the residents, because there are 30 flats, all the residents, and do something different. The manager looked at me and said, are you able to do that? I said, why not? We can try. They need a hug. They need someone guitar talking and singing to them. Doesn't matter. Now I know why I'm here. I have to do something. They are my family. They are brothers and sisters. Why not try to bring a little smile into their faces? Well, it's a challenge. I will tell you in the future how the things will go. Okay? But he's talking about universal fraternity. We don't know about tomorrow. Let's do it today. Thank you very much, Stevan. Thank you all. A big hug until next week. If God says yes, we will be here again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Elsa. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with us. As I said, I do have a problem here with my files. It's not resolved yet, so that's why we don't have our announcements. But fingers crossed by next week, everything gonna be fixed, and we will share everything here to everyone. So thank you so much. I wish you all a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye,
God
Charles.
Bye,
bless.
Bye bye.
Charles. Bye, Elsa. Thank you.
Bye bye, all.